I am so excited to have all of you joining us today for our special class that we're doing with Miss Deb Drummond. If you have not met Deb, you will want to meet her. And today will be a good chance for you to get started in getting to know her. Deb has owned two direct selling companies. That's where I first met her, was as an owner of a company. She's built field organizations. She's been in Success Magazine 48 times with her and her family, and she has top accolades in the business, and she's led her team to top positions and success in the business. There's just so many pieces to this woman. You'll get an idea tonight. You want to make sure that, because she's a top performance coach, so you want to show up with your pen, your paper, and be ready to take notes because you're going to learn so much today. And I want to thank you again for joining us with DSWA, and Deb, for you being with us. And let's get started.
Well, thank you so much. Like Nikki said, we've known each other for quite a time. I'd like to just give you a little kind of background about who I am. So those are some of the things that I've received from hanging out in this world of direct sales. And they're beautiful, and I worked for them as you work for yours. But my first introduction to direct sales when I was 8 years old. And it was a situation where my mom needed a financial rescue. So we found ourselves in a compromising position, and she needed money. And one of the things that I always say about direct sales, it's the most equal opportunity employer in the world, because she didn't fill out an application and she didn't go for an interview. And the woman who she called was very happy, just like you would be if someone decided to call you and go, I need help and I need help now. Now, in all honesty, at that time in direct sales, without giving away my age, I'll just say my daughter's 31 and she's, she loves this industry as well, is that it was called apron money. No kidding. It was called apron money. And so my mom called and she's like, I need like a big pocket of apron money. And the woman's like, absolutely, let's do this. Now, my mom could not afford to have a babysitter. My brother was 10, so he got to stay home alone, but I was 8 and I could not. And so she took me to these parties. I'm sure if you can imagine yourself packing up. So she did Tupperware. So packing up all the Tupperware and then sliding your kid in there somewhere. She probably felt like, oh my gosh, she's not going to like it. I have, but that's what she needed to do. Well, I loved it. So I got to go to parties. I was 8 years old. I got to go to parties. And it was the first time that I was introduced to what I call the circle of commerce. And I really, truly, I obviously heard things I wasn't supposed to hear, and I ate things I wasn't supposed to eat. That was just a given. But I liked it for more than that. I really saw, I saw the hope, because as the daughter of a mom who was in financial need, let's face it, kids are a little smart. They pick up on that stuff. I knew what was happening. And I was super happy to see my mom happy. And I was super happy to see that the people in the room were happy. And there was this exchange happening that I had never seen before, that I have continued to see in direct sales. And I call it the circle of commerce, where people are happy on both sides of the purchaser, right? So you're happy to sell and they're happy to purchase, because I believe that direct sales products have to be the best products in the world. Why? Because word of mouth. If there's a movie that's not good, you're going to tell your friends not to go. So direct sales, people are like, oh, are you in direct sales? I'm like, heck yeah, I wouldn't do it if I wasn't, because these are the best products you can get your hands on. So I actually saw firsthand. And that's why when I got into my 20s, I decided to create my own direct sales company, with the sense of that it's an empowerment vehicle for us to make. What my mom needed was extra money, and sometimes people need full money. So for me, that was really my entry point into this industry. And I can say 51 years later, I still believe in it. So thank you so much for taking your time to be here. I know some people are listening to the recording because you too have an abundant life and you got things going on today. So thank you, because it's always fun talking to real people. And for those of you that don't have your camera on, don't feel bad. This is do your business as you do your business. Just do your business. So if you can't show your face at any point on and off, don't worry about that. So I'm happy to be able to be presenting with you today. And I believe we're going to have some times for Q&A. I'll do my best to try to tighten that up. And then we do have a follow-up class to this class where it's 90 minutes where we're going to get way more time and we can get into the weeds and you can ask as many questions as you want about your particular business and your particular situation. But this is about how to get your prospects to say yes. Has everyone here had prospects say yes yet? Is anyone in their first like 2 weeks or 3 weeks and you're like, I don't know how to make a prospect say yes, or you haven't had the experience of that? No? Okay. Oh, you do? So you haven't had your first customer yet? Or your first, you can unmute or put yourself in the chat. Yeah, everybody's had someone say yes once? Yeah? Okay. It's a good feeling, right? It's kind of like the person who my mom called and she was like, that's easy. Someone called me. Let's all put that in our wish list, right? Someone called me. So you know that experience, and it's joyful because you know what you're doing is working, but it's also joyful because you're going to change someone's lives, either with a product, a business, or a product, right? One of the things that I'd like to say, and you can do this while you can put it into the chat while we're chatting, because I'll see it pop up. And I'll have time to address it, and I for sure will address it on the next class that's coming, is where are you getting your leads? If you want to put that in there, if you're doing them on social media, you're doing this, you're doing that, feel free to put that in the chat and I'll watch for that to address. But the number one way that I get your products to say yes, and this might sound like a no-brainer, or I've heard that before. I want to define it, because one of the things is I don't want to tell you what to do without telling you how to do it. Because when people are like, how did you get into Success Magazine? Or how did you get this? Or how did you get that? It really, I'm like, you're saying the right word. You're saying how. You know, I'm not telling you what to do without telling you how to do it. And that's the key factor. So how do you get your prospects to say yes? The first thing that I want to say, whether you do your business 5 hours a month, 5 hours a week, or 5 hours a day, it doesn't matter. But when you do your business, how you do it as a professional direct sales person, or as a woman who is a direct sales professional. So do your business as a business, call it a business, talk about it as a business, posture yourself as a business, because you are an entrepreneur. You know, I'm not a fan of, I'm just in this little thing. Please take the word just out of your category. I just want you to try a sample. Please take just out, because professionals that are professionals and professional organizations don't say, I'm just a dentist. I'm just a child care worker. I'm just a beautician. You don't hear that. I'm a hairdresser. I'm a beautician, I sell eyeglasses, I make jewelry, I'm an artist. They don't say just, but there's something about direct sales when we haven't fully owned our business that puts in things like just, or can you do me a favor, right? You don't hear dentists go, hey, can you do me a favor? Can I clean your teeth for you today? So I really want, right? We don't hear that. They're like, get in the chair, let me clean your teeth, and I'm going to send you a bill. That's what they do. And that's what I want you to. I want you to take on that posture of, no matter how much you do your business, to own your business. And if you don't think that this makes a difference between someone saying yes or no, it makes all the difference why it's my number one. If all of a sudden you had to go right now because you just scratched and you won the lottery and you're like, I gotta go, I want you to know that if you run your direct sales business as a professional direct sales professional, you will have a different response just by changing that position. Even if you're new, you can say, hey, I'm in my first 30 days of my new business. I'm new in this thing, the way that it's almost like when you talk, it gets smaller. I'm new in my direct sales business, in my beauty business, in my health and wellness business, in my lifestyle business, in my financial business. Whatever your product and service is, use the word business after, and the posturing's different, and you sit different, and you talk different, and you act different, and you come from it. You can say, I don't know much about my business yet, but the woman that introduced me, oh my goodness, she's incredible. And the questions I can't answer for you, the beautiful thing is that I've partnered with her. Not she's my upline, I've partnered with her. That's a business term. So when you posture yourself like that, people are more apt to say yes. Why? Because when people purchase, they want to know at least you feel competent. At least you feel confident. And if you're feeling confident and competent in what you don't know, that's building trust. So there's nothing, I mean, you've all done it. You know, you've been somewhere and a woman has said, you know, I don't know everything, but I can find out for you. I don't know everything, but what I do know. And that is a really important statement. Write that down. I got myself a car in 60 days by admitting confidently what I didn't know. But what I do know is the statement for me at the time when I went into the field with a company was, I've never seen products like this, and I've never seen numbers like this. I really want you to meet my partner. So no matter where you are in your business, if you're 10 years in your business, right? But what I do know is talk about what you do know with confidence and competence. But what I do know is I've never been this excited, even if that's what it is. But what I do know, for me, I needed a financial rescue for a school I wanted to send my child to. So, but what I do know is that I found a way to pay for Ocean's tuition in that school I know he needs to go to. That's beautiful. It's, first of all, it's honest, it's authentic, and it rings true because it is true. you know, because it is true. Because I have finally found a way that I'm going to be able to take the kids on vacation, and we haven't been on vacation in 10 years. That's true. So when you lead competently with what you don't know, if you're in that case, and if you're up on leadership and you know what you need to know, groovy. And if you come into it that way, it's posturing. Because what people want to know is we buy from competent people. So if they're competent in what they do know or competent in what they don't know, we don't care. Honestly, you don't care. You're more apt sometimes to buy from someone who's competent about what they don't know, because you will purchase bravery. You will purchase support. And if you don't believe me, have you ever bought Girl Guide cookies and you don't eat cookies? Have you ever bought chocolate or Christmas wrap and you already have yours? Because you buy confidence, because you buy support, because you buy the mission. And the mission is that woman is doing this for this. That's your new approach. Or I invite you to implement that with your approach. You don't have to do anything that I say. You can just hang out here and we can talk about life. So that is one of the things that I really wanted to drive down, because that will get your prospects to say yes, because it's just a different feeling. All right. So treating your business like a business. Treating your business like a business means that you put it in your planner. So here's your planner, here's my planner, and I was putting in my 2025 planner exactly what I do. Every Sunday, I take a look at my week and I put it in my planner. If I don't have it in my planner, then I'm not planning to succeed. And what I mean by that is, if you're carving out 15 minutes in the morning to do your, what I call profit calling, you might call it follow up. I'm going to encourage you to switch that. But your follow up, if you put it in, then when you look at your planner and someone's like, hey, can you grab a coffee? Hey, can you come on the call early? Hey, you're like, nope, I'm booked. So book your business. Book your business. You may have nothing to do next Thursday at 4 o'clock, but that's the time you have free. So you're going to book in your business, whether you take a training, whatever you do in your business time. If it's 5 hours, book it. Because if you don't book it, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, and this happened. And we know that, mini emergencies, I can't, like, oh, the dog needs taken out. That's a mini emergency. Oh my gosh, I need to get, I didn't get vegetables for the dinner. You know what? You're fine. Don't eat vegetables, do your business. You know what I mean? So if you have it booked, that again, game changer. Because most people know what they have to do, or they can calculate that I've done 5 hours a week, but it's been variable. And when you start to tighten up, because I'm a top performance trainer, when you start to tighten yourself up to those times, you will have better results, because you'll mentally be prepared. It won't take you 20 minutes to get into it, all the things. So honestly, book your business just like you're a dentist, right? So I also say that put the elephant in the room, right? Don't be shy about your why. Don't be shy about your why. So put it in the room. This is what I just kind of talked about earlier. It's like, I might be new in my business, but this is what I know. I don't know this, but I know this. I always say, kind of be an ask person. There's a difference between giving information and asking. And this starts to make people a little uncomfortable, but this class is about how to get your prospects to say yes, right? So a lot of times people are like, I'm talking to customers, I'm talking to people about joining the business, I'm talking and I'm giving them all the information that I can. And I just can't I can't get people to convert. I can't get them to flip over. And I will gently ask them, have you asked them to? Have you asked them to? Have you straight out said, hey, you know what, Jackie? I sent you a video. I invited you to the information session. I know you weren't able to make it. I would love for you to join my team. I think that we could do great business together. And I'd love to know what that would look like. Is there anything that you have that you would like some extra money? Because I've heard you, could you had some conversation? So you can use your conversation, but many times people will not ask and they will be professional information givers. And sometimes there's a certain point of giving information where it's difficult and come around to the ask. And do you know what I mean? Like, Amy, you're nodding your head. So when you've given so much information, it's weird to go back. If you put the elephant in the room and go, Amy, I absolutely would love for you to come onto my team. I think we could do great business together. But I know what you need is a little bit more information, and you'll make the decision whether that's right for you. So let me send you that video. So I put the ask before I sent the video. So that when you are watching the video, you know my intention. If your intention is truly to have them as a customer or truly have them to join a team, there is nothing wrong. You are in business. You are a direct sales professional. You want to floss their teeth. You don't want them to come in and hang out, right? And so I'd love for you to join my team, but I absolutely get it. You need more information. I'd love for you to join my team, but I'm not able to answer your questions, and I totally get it. Why? Because I'm new in this business. So let me call Nikki, let me call, Delilah, let me call Rebecca and get the answers. But man, we could do some great stuff together. This would be super fun. Or I hear you talking about that you have a lot of fatigue by the time the end of the day, you're telling me that you're tired. And look, really, I get it. The world is abundant. The world is abundant and we're all doing a whole lot of stuff. But you know what? Rebecca knows a little bit more about this energy product than I do. And I think with this information, it'll be able to answer. I'd love to have you as a customer, but it's got to be right for you. Do you see how I asked? I asked. I didn't go, oh, here's a video and I'll check in with you. Check in with you. And then I'm going to do this and I'm going to check in with you. What are you checking in for? Like, what is it in your check-in? But if you tell them that you'd like to have that in the front end, they know. So as I'm watching the video, I'm thinking about the business. I'm not thinking about, oh, has anyone ever had, oh my gosh, that was amazing. I'm so happy for you, Amy. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you. You're like, oh, well, I'd love for you to join. They're like, oh, but they didn't watch the video through those glasses. They had like these glasses on. They had my support glasses. They had my Girl Guide Cookies glasses. They didn't have my business glasses. They didn't have it was attached to me glasses. So you don't have to call people and go, oh my gosh, I'm in this incredible business. Amy, I'd like for you to do it. Now, there's people you can do that with. They're your friends. You know them forever. There was people I called and I'm like, I've never seen numbers like this. I've never seen business like this. And you're doing this with me. They're like, okay, I'll come to the meeting. You know what I mean? There's those people in your life. But if you actually let them know, and so they can drop down. So you're like, so if you called and checked in on the video or what have you, and I'm like, you know what, Amy, it was amazing. But you know what? Because I know you want to do business with me, but right now I'm going to tell you why. I love it. I think it's incredible. I'm going to support you, but I just can't see that fitting into my life right now. Now they're going to already give me the reason that I'm going to spend 3 more calls trying to get. Now you can address that reason. You're like, you know what, Deb? I absolutely get it. You're abundant. And when I use the word abundant, I am replacing the word that starts with B, that ends with Y, that has us in the beginning. Because that word, we don't even say it. My whole team, we don't say it. I don't say it. If you say it, it has such a negative connotation. Oh, you're so B. You're so, it's almost like The whole world. Do you know what word I'm talking about? BUSY. Okay. So look at Amy. I know that you're super abundant as well. And I felt the same way. But let me tell you what I did. What I did is I booked 15 minutes 4 times a week. And what I'll do is I will help you. Look, here's the worst thing that can happen, Amy, is that we get you some good products at a great price. We play together and work together in this business. Thank you, Nikki. And we work together in this business, and let's see where it goes. I mean, we don't know where it's going to go. I know where I want it to go. And if it could bring a little extra or whatever you have a conversation with. And then if they're like, then you can dance with the dance. Not right now, it's not my time. And that's a whole other different conversation. I want to kind of get through some principles for you because I want to teach you how. I want to teach you how, right? I want to teach you how. Are we all kind of like following along? Are you like nodding your head on the inside, at least if not on the outside? Okay, we're having a good time. I like to have a good time, so I'll have a good time whether you don't have a good time and I got it, but I'm going to check in to make sure that you're having a good time. So I call that putting the elephant in the room because most of us have a fear around asking because we have some deep-seated fear about rejecting. But none of the people who you spend money with, your hairdresser or your eyeglass, they don't have a really concern about that, and you shouldn't either. So put the ask within the ask. Does that make sense? Then you don't have to be so scared about doing it after. And be super proud. One question that I get asked, and I'm just going to throw it out here, and probably every time you hear me speak, I'm going to say this, because people say, what do I say when someone says, is it MLM? Here's your answer. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't. So sometimes I wouldn't do it if it wasn't. So Amy's looking at me like, what? So if I'm talking to someone and I'm introducing them and I'm saying, I'd like you to join my team. I'd like you to buy my product. I'd like you, so I'm going to send you this. And they say to me, is this a direct sales product? Right? Is this a multi-level marketing product? Is it a network marketing product? Are you an affiliate of this? Whatever whatever it is. And I would say, I wouldn't do it if it wasn't. Because they have the best products. Because word of mouth will kill a bad product. And let me tell you, people are talking, and let me tell you what they're saying. Right? Okay, so I call that putting the elephant in the room. Here's something that's going to take a little bit of time, but I want to introduce you to the concept. If you start to kind of self-observe yourself in conversation and start to watch people on the other side of the screen or the other side in front of you or whatever it is, wherever the environment is that you're doing this conversation, start to become intuitive. Just slightly look to tap in. Have you all sensed something? Right? They're like, I sense something. Or when someone has to go because stuff's going on and they start talking faster, or they start leaning back, or you say, oh my gosh, now I don't know what products that you have. So you're like, oh my gosh, I just love this, I don't know, cellulite foam. I don't have cellulite foam to, oh my gosh, this cellulite foam, I was able to, man, I really saw a difference when I wore my bathing suit this month. And someone goes like this, what did you say? And they lean in, start to watch. You're like, oh my gosh, let me tell you, they're leaning in, their eyes got a little bigger. They started to tilt their head. They leaned in. These are intuitive clues that you're onto something. Stay there. Stay there. Stay in that conversation. If you're talking to someone, like if I'm talking and I'm like, honestly, my son needed some support with his learning difference, and the school was $32,000 a year, and I was a single mom that just came through a marital status change. I can tell you right now, it wasn't 32, if it was 3,200, it would have been a deal. And someone's like, really? Tell me, really? What happened? And they lean in, stay there. Because you're triggering something. They're relating to you in some way, whether it's cellulite or issue or your why, or I haven't taken the kids on a trip in 10 years. They're like, and if they start to like this, just go, yeah, I hear you. Stay there. Don't go, oh, and let me tell you about the best-selling product, or stay there. So that's about intuitive. I can't teach you how to be intuitive. I can just let you know to watch for cues, watch for clues. People will lean in, they'll lean back, their eyes will open, they'll tilt, they will ask for more information about that. They'll be like related, they'll smile. Those are all intuitive signs that you'll start to curate, and you'll start to understand, and you'll start to watch over and over again in your direct sales profession. You'll be able to intuitively know that. It's like when someone says to you, I'd love to watch your video. Like, honestly, Rebecca, I'd love to have 8 minutes. I just don't. And you know that it's an authentic, you know, like these renovations are kicking my butt. The best thing that you could do is just go, you know what? I get it. Here, let me do this. Let me call you in December. Let me call you in January. Let me fall back with you. You've got lots on your plate. That will be the best business decision move you ever made. Because first of all, it postures you. You don't need that sale, even if you do. Even if you do. That's called being invested but detached. I'm invested in that sale, but I'm detached enough to know that not everybody is meeting at that exact time. A company that I was considerable in, their leading product was a skin compound. And the multiple years I was there, and I would have to say, I did a lot of events, and I did a lot of, and I opened up countries and blah, blah, blah. And, I sold thousands of bottles of this product. Only once in my career did I ever run into somebody that had just run out of their skincare that day. Okay, so the chances of you running into someone that day that needs skin foaming, silly, like whatever you're selling is kind of rare. So, you know what I mean? So my point is that you may be running into people that it's not quite the time, and you know that. That's where I use this book. And I just showing you what I use. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this on the next class, but this is a top performance success tracker. And I put their name in here. I figure out where I met them from, text that, like I put in where I met them, I put their name, and then I go over to, I have 14 places for follow up and profit calling, I call it. And so let's say it was the first time that I talked to them, I put their name in there, then I put call in January, and then I go to my planner and I go to January and I put their name on a day. And then you know what? That's called building pipeline. That's your future customer. And that person is going to have so much respect for you. And you can leave it off with, you know what? If you think of me before now and then, feel free to reach out. You know I'm always here. Even if it's to talk about how you're pissed off at your construction guy. No problem. Right? And so if they're in renovations, let them take them off the hook before they take you off theirs. I'm really not interested right now, Rebecca. There's no way I can even imagine. And you're like, no problem. You have a lot of things going on. Honestly, girl, I'll call you in the new year. They're so grateful because they don't really want to say, I'm not interested. They just don't have the bandwidth. And we've all been there. So if they're being honest with you, just be honest with them on the back end. Okay. So so I just kind of taught you how we change the word BUSY to things like abundant. You have a life of a lot of cool things going on right now. Use any word other than that, because that's a deflated word. As soon as you say that, first of all, you've given them an excuse. And second, who isn't? Honestly, who isn't? Like, what are you sitting around eating bonbons all day? I mean, we're doing stuff, right? We're either watching or we're reading or we're drawing or we're parenting or we're whatever we're doing. There's things going on. There's a world out there and we're active and we're in it. You're going to team meetings, you're going to training. So who isn't? So it's going to be rare that you run into someone that's like, oh, I've been lying on the beach for 6 months. I've been looking for something to do. Thank you for calling me. You're not. So if you say, oh my gosh, you are doing some cool things as well. I know that your schedule is abundant. I know your schedule is full of really cool things. But look when I say that the video is 8 minutes, I really truly mean it's 8 minutes. Or I have 2 videos. I have one that's 28 minutes that tells you absolutely everything you could ever want to know. And I have one that's 3, 4, or 5 minutes that just gives you a brief, what's best for you. You can play it that way. Personally, I'm a super abundant person, but because I want to know, I'm the person that takes the 28-minute. We are so wired in this industry to assume that people don't want to take the time to really research. If you were looking at joining a business, I would rather meet with you 2 times than 4 times of little bits and pieces and little bits and pieces. So don't be afraid to ask, would you rather the 28-minute? I ran into a woman today. I'm doing a large project. She wants to come into the project. She happens to be in direct sales. She goes, I know you love direct sales. I'm in this project. She goes, I'd love for you to know about the product. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like, I'm here to support. Like, I'd love, maybe I'd love to buy it, right? I'm a direct sale, like, I'm like, if I look for something first, I go to my direct sales family. And I said, I'm the person that wants to know all the information. Please don't send me a 4-minute video that makes me have to ask you for more. She's like, really? I'm like, right? She goes, I go, don't assume that people want the 3-minute video because they have nothing else to do for the other 12 minutes. So I'm like, here's a 28-minute video. It is literally going to tell you everything you know. You don't send them 4 videos, send them the full 1 video. And then I'm like, at any point, ask questions. At least I know when I talk back to them. Now, they might say to me, give me a 3-minute video. That's all I have time for. I listen to these things in the bathroom while I'm brushing my teeth. Cool. So just don't assume people are not wanting to invest to know more. We're kind of in a world now because YouTube only wants 90-second videos. That's the shorts, blah, blah, blah. The shorter we are, we get told that people have the attention span. And it's true. I taught brain health for years. A goldfish has 11 seconds. We now officially have 8 seconds. That is the attention span of the average human. But we don't have to feed to that. And the one way I can prove my point to you on that is, have you ever gone into a movie theater? Go into movie theaters, it supports the industry, but go into a movie theater and you get up after 10 minutes because your attention span's done. Not true. If the video's good enough, if the movie's good enough, if the book's good enough, you'll stay up no matter how tired you are to read the next chapter. So if you're practiced enough and you know what to say and your video's dynamic, they'll continue to watch. They're like, oh, 90 seconds, dude. So that's my bit on that. That's my bit on that. The other thing is, one way I had a lot of results, and the one way I had a lot of honest conversations, and honest conversations lead to sales. They do. And so one of the things that I did is that I would ask someone when I was at that point where I was like, okay, so Amy, I keep picking on you. So me and Amy's had conversation. We've done whatever we've done. Okay. And I'm at the point and I'm like, Amy, I'd really love you to join me in this journey of entrepreneurship. Do you notice how I said journey of entrepreneurship instead of business, right? Or the name of the company? I'd be like, I'd really love you to join me in this journey of entrepreneurship. And you're like, yeah, okay. And I'd say from 0 to 8, where are you with our conversations we've had so far, with what you've watched, what you've not? You've met my girlfriend, my da 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 da. We don't say upline, we don't say downline, we say business partner, we say associate, where are you at? And I go, look, here's the gauge. 0, girl, you are absolutely crazy. Never call me again. You are off the rocker. And then they laugh. Because if we're having a second conversation, they're not saying that. And 8 is, pull up that application. Let's get this going and let's party together. Where are you from 0 to 8? And Amy, I don't care what number you say to me. You could say 1, you could say 7, you could say 5, you could say 4. And you're going to say, I'm at a 4. And I'm going to go, Amy, what does it take for me to get you from 4 to 8? And now you're going to tell me the real reason. You're going to say, you know what? Slammed. I can't even imagine where I could put this in. I have no idea where I'd come up with $500. Because that's what's stopping them from going to 8. So if they're 2, if they're this, if they're that, that's going to be your intuitive guide to either answer the question, or if they could say, you know what, I don't know. I'm just at a 6. I'm just at a 6. And you're like, well, let me give you some suggestions. So do you feel like you need more information? Some people want to join, but they don't have the resources. They don't know where the money's going to come from, or they're concerned about, talk the truth. Talk the truth. They don't know when they're going to make their money back. Well, let me tell you, we pay every 2 weeks. This is the commission, and it's my job. And if you feel it to be true, my role is to help you get your ROI back as soon as possible. Not only get your ROI back, Amy, but make money. Like, make money. There's a lot of people doing that. Maybe you want to talk to someone else who's part of my team, or maybe you want to have this conversation. And that's when you start to get into the weeds of the relationship. Because if they tell you why they're not an 8, it gives you the reason why they're not buying, they're not this, they're not that. And at least it gives you more of a real conversation. I'm doing renovations. I couldn't imagine spending it that. I don't even know where I'm gonna get the time. We're gonna be in renos. I'm gonna be living in my sister-in-law's house. I've got 3 kids, and you can imagine it. Like, I have no idea. Just go, you know what? Okay, Amy, here's what we can do. So we go in this together. I know what's going on for you, but what I want you to know is this is a we business. This isn't you in business and me in business. This is a we business. And so my role in this world, they call it upline, but honestly, my role is to support you through that process. So you're not going to join and all of a sudden everything's going to open up and you have all these expectations and all that kind of stuff. What I can do for you is I can help build with you. And what does that look like? We can make a list. You could literally do text. And now you're talking. I don't know how all of your companies work, so I don't want to get into the weeds in it. But now you can talk we. And if they're like, I don't really know, it gives you conversation. Maybe they are someone who's better for 3 months. Maybe they are someone that you just want to get the product on. Maybe they are someone that needs to go to an information session. And maybe you need to say, you know what, honestly, okay, I'm going to say it, right? It's the most abundant people. It's the people with the least amount of time that I see being able to do the most productive things in the time they have because they have a healthy relationship with the clock. Whatever your counter, I mean, now I'm getting into verbiage, but you know what I mean. 0 to 8, never 0 to 10. Why? Because 0 to 10 is every frigging quiz that you take on social media and the Chatelaine magazine and 10 steps to getting the blah, blah, blah. 10 doesn't land for people and it's too much and it's too common. You want to be innovative. You want to be the exception to the rule. 0 to 8, 0, I'm crazy. 8 is let's go. Where are you? And then you get to ask why. That has been that has helped me to build pipeline because you're not just here to close the sale today. You're having this conversation to close the sale in 4 months, 3 months, 4 years. I mean, if you listen to Nikki's story, right? The woman contacted her and just stayed on top of her and contacted her. And then eventually when Nikki was ready, she decided to join. And it wasn't in 4 days. You can listen to her story. So here's something. We all communicate in a different forum. And I just noticed, and Nikki, if you need to put a little note in the chat that I need to wrap up, I know I'm 35, 40 minutes, and I'm probably at 40 minutes. So I'll start to wrap up. But communicate with your people the way they like to be communicated. So here's the deal. If you don't like text and that's how they like to do their business, guess what you're doing? You're texting them. If they're an email person and you don't like to do email, honestly, if someone wants to sell me something, Lord forbid that they decide to, email me, I'm like, well, God bless you. Because my business requires me to be on WhatsApp 90% of my day. So ask them, how do you like to be communicated? Are you a text person? Are you a WhatsApp person? Are you an email person? Are you a messenger person? However way you do you. But I would ask them and communicate to them in their style, even though you may not like it. People say to me, oh, can you email me? And I'm like, absolutely. But I don't play on email all day. But I will say to them, if it's something that you really need me to do and I'm not on email because my world is Zoom, please text me and I'll hop right over there. Okay, so I'm going to get back to do a little bit of Q&A. But the very first thing that I said is your number one, how you get people to your prospects to say yes is 2 things. One is go back to number 1, treat your business like a business. If you heard nothing that I said today, if you posture yourself different and start calling yourself a direct sales professional and take the word just and take the word BYUS in the middle out, you'll do a lot. And the other thing is it's time to trust your why. You are all here for a reason. You all decided to join for a reason. And it's time to trust that why and brave up and ask. So trust your why, treat your business like a business, and you will have a better result with your prospects. So that is what I have for you today. I hope that you found it fun. I hope you found it inspiring. I hope you got some gemstones from that. I hope you decide to join us at the next class, but we can open up for some Q&A. I'm going to pass it over to Nikki.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Deb. Anybody that has a question or a comment, you can put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself now or just speak up and we'll find you. I'm putting into the chat box the information about the upcoming class. Deb, you did such a great job and it was fun. I always learn from you and I love that. So the next class is Yes to Success, Mastering Profit Calls and Follow-Up. That's going to be on October the 28th. So anybody that has a question, now's the time because Deb's going to be here to answer it for you, but I am going to share with you. You can write this down or take a picture of it. This is the information about the upcoming class, and I'm going to get it to full screen here. Give me a second. Something's weird with my computer, but there we
Okay.
go. So you do save a code because you were on this class. You're going to save $10. So use that code, save 10, when you register for the class. And it is in the events calendar. So just go to dswa.org/events, or you can go directly there by going dswa.org/masterclass, and it should come up. So keep that picture if you want to see us there. So let me see if we have anybody in the chat that has a question, a new message. Awesome info. Thanks very much. Thank you, Amy, for being here with us. We're happy that you're here. Anybody else have something that you'd love to have Deb answer right now? She is a little bundle of knowledge.
Oh, thank you. Well, and the exciting thing about the next class is, you know how I said I'm going to get into, like, there we're really going to break into verbiage. I kind of gave you some bits and points, but we're going to go like mastering really how to master what I call profit calling and you might call follow up. We're going to really master the technique of how you can get through verbiage in different ways and understanding. And I'm going to really give you a formula that will help you really take what we just talked now to some serious closing in your business. So,
Beautiful. Here's a question from Debbie.
okay.
I like how you respond when someone says that they're so busy. If they do accept the challenge and then you never hear from them again, any suggestions that people do that whole MIA thing? I'm ready, and then they disappear. Any
Right.
idea?
Well, if someone, so Debbie, just to get this clear, they said they're going to join the business. And then you're like, okay, let's make a time to meet. And we're going to meet on Thursday. We're going to meet on Friday. We're going to meet whatever. And then they never show up. Is that what you're saying? Is that what she's got for a question?
I guess she
Ba-
maybe that they even
Basically, have the situation where they did join, and I tried to set up a time to get together. They said one was good. They never, I only get a text like every fourth one I send or whatever. I think I'm going to go
Yeah.
after the question with what's the best way to communicate with you. Maybe texting isn't good or whatever, but I just don't know how long to keep,
Yeah.
asking,
Yeah.
prodding.
Okay. We've all had it. We've all had that where we've had someone join. So that's great that they MIA'd you after they joined, right? Right. It's better than before. So you have someone that's joined your team. You've had a transaction, transaction of commerce. There's a couple things that I would do. For me, I don't know if you were able to find the why they decided to join, what it was about what they decided to join, because you can always lead with, Nikki, I remember you saying that you were looking to make some extra money because you want to send your son to school. I know that school's starting in 3 months or 4 months or 5 months. I would love to join you in that journey. I don't know where you've been or what you've been doing, hopefully it's been all good, but I really just want to check in. And you could say that I really want to, now this is where I would maybe use the word just, because you're trying to, at this point, you don't want them to MIU altogether. MIU, I just want to check in. Is everything okay? Like, are you okay? Has something happened? Because you know what? Outside of the business is over here. What's more important is the relationship. And if something's going on, I'm here to, I'm here to help you. This is why we do these kind of businesses. So I'm giving you all sorts of angles. One is asking, are you okay? Second is the relationship's more important than the business. The third is reminding them of their why. You can do this in one at a time or weave it together. The other thing is for you yourself, knowing that this happens, it's not happened to you. It's a part of this. And how I look at those kind of situations is the goblins got them. Like the goblins got them. And sometimes I'll precede that. I will say to someone, if I feel like they're wavering a little bit, look, you're about to take a step and you are going to psychologically challenge everything that's going on in your head. And I think you have a sense that this is going to be a really positive, successful move for you. I do this when people purchase large programs with me. And I go, so one thing's going to happen. 1 to 3 things are going to happen. You're going to get off the phone with me and you're going to be super excited. And the goblins are not even part of your world. And you're super excited and off we go. 1 or 2, you're going to get goblins. And goblins are going to start talking to you. And really what I want you to tell your goblins is, that's interesting. I'll talk to you later. If you feel fearful, if you feel like you're avoiding, if all of a sudden you get washed over with goblins, then I want you to call me. I want you to also know that it's perfectly normal, because we are changing things. Things are, and if you can have that conversation, we are changing things. You're moving to a really positive group of people, you're whatever it is. So you can put it out there if you think someone's kind of wavering. It's just say it's really common. But I would start with, is everything okay? Because I've had people when I've said, hey, is everything okay? Or I'm like, did I say something? Like, did I say something? And they'll be like, no, 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 no. My mom's been sick. No, 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 no. My marriage is having a challenge. No, 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 no. I'm like, I threw my hip out. No, no, no. You're like, oh my gosh. So don't take it personal. And as long as they haven't quit and they're with you, you can cheer them on as well. You can go, hey, I'm so glad that you're still here. Me too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Lots of ideas.
That's lots of different ideas. Yeah.
There's one other comment here. Love the opening point at the beginning about making our business a joyful experience and that people are happy on both sides, the buyer and the seller. That is such an important aspect of our business, that people are happy that they're doing business together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm. Well, I don't see any more here, but man, I am so excited for this class. I can't wait to see what happens. And we're going to have some great, great add-on for this. Again, save yourself some money and use the code SAVE10 when you register for the class. You register at dswa.org masterclass. And every month we do a free class in DSWA. So please take a look at that and be watching for all the great new things that are coming here with some new benefits and new ideas and a lot of new. We love that. So
Mm-hmm.
Deb, anything you want to wrap up with?
No, just that, if you know what, I think one of the things that happens when we experience something that's helped move our business is sometimes we keep it to ourselves and we're like, oh, we were on this great class. Don't forget to introduce people to the DSWA. Like, if you're out there in the world and you're meeting other direct sales professionals, then this is a safe place for everyone to be. And when our tide rises, all tides rise. And I think, as someone who loves the direct sales profession, the more that we talk positively about the direct sales profession, the more we open doors, the more we bridge that gap, the more collaborative we become and less competitive we become. I mean, when I was in direct sales selling a product, I purchased all my other products from people that I loved in the direct sales profession because we were helping each other. So don't keep this a secret. We are open for membership. We welcome women. We are working hard to create a direct sales professional feeling. And so I would just say, whether it's people in your team or people that you meet, let them know that direct sales is here and the DSWA is happy to help them.
Thank you, Deb. And thank you everyone for being a part of our class tonight and being a part of our direct selling profession. Take care and have a blessed day.